1. Adolf Hitler was born on April 20, 1989, in Braunau am Inn, Austria-Hungary, now Austria. 2. Hitler's full name was Adolf Hitler. 3. His father, Alois Hitler, was a strict and abusive man who worked as a customs officer. 4. Hitler's mother, Clara Hitler, was kind and compassionate but had a difficult life. 5. Hitler had 4 siblings, but only one of them, Paula Hitler, survived into adulthood. 6. Hitler had a strong interest in art and wanted to pursue a career as a painter. 7. He applied twice to the Vienna Academy of Fine Arts but was rejected both times. 8. Hitler moved to Munich, Germany, in 1913, where he lived for most of his adult life. 9. During World War I, Hitler served as a soldier in the German army and was wounded twice. 10. After the war, Hitler joined the Nazi Party, a far-right political party in Germany. 11. Hitler quickly rose through the ranks of the party and became its leader in 1920. 12. He attempted a coup known as the Beer Hall Putsch in 1923 to overthrow the German government, but it failed, and he was sentenced to prison. 13. While in prison, Hitler wrote his book Mein Kampf, outlining his political beliefs and vision for Germany. 14. The Great Depression in 1929 allowed Hitler to gain popularity as people sought a strong leader during the economic crisis. 15. Hitler became the Chancellor of Germany in 1933 after his party won a majority in the Reichstag German parliament. 16. He soon consolidated his power and became the absolute dictator of Germany, eliminating political rivals and suppressing dissent. 17. Hitler implemented a series of policies known as the Third Reich that aimed to create a totalitarian state. 18. He targeted and persecuted various groups, including Jews, Romani people, disabled individuals, homosexuals, and political opponents. 19. Hitler's anti-Semitic beliefs led to the systematic murder of 6 million Jews during the Holocaust. 20. He established concentration camps where millions of people were imprisoned, tortured, and killed. 21. Hitler's government also launched aggressive military campaigns, such as the invasion of Poland in 1939, which triggered World War II. 22. He led a series of military successes in the early years of the war, conquering much of Europe. 23. However, Hitler's decision to invade the Soviet Union in 1941 was a major strategic mistake and ultimately led to his downfall. 24. The Battle of Stalingrad in 1942-1943 marked a turning point in the war, as the German forces suffered a major defeat. 25. Hitler was known for his charismatic speaking skills and used propaganda extensively to shape public opinion. 26. He created the Hitler Youth Organization, which indoctrinated young Germans with Nazi ideology. 27. Hitler's regime promoted the idea of Aryan supremacy and sought to create a racially pure Germany. 28. He implemented eugenics policies, including forced sterilizations and euthanasia programs, to eliminate individuals considered undesirable. 29. Hitler's personal life was mostly private, and he had no children. He married his longtime companion, Eva Braun, shortly before their joint suicide in 1945. 30. In the final months of the war, as Allied forces closed in on Berlin, Hitler retreated to his underground bunker. 31. On April 30, 1945, Hitler committed suicide by gunshot in the bunker, along with Eva Braun. 32. Hitler's body was discovered by Soviet soldiers and later cremated to prevent it from becoming a shrine for Nazi sympathizers. 33. The Nuremberg trials held after the war tried and convicted several top Nazi officials, but Hitler was not present or tried directly. 34. Hitler's actions and ideology continue to be widely condemned as one of the darkest periods in human history. 35. The swastika, a symbol associated with Hitler and the Nazi Party, was originally an ancient symbol with different cultural meanings but has since become synonymous with hate and racism. 36. In his early years, Hitler was an admirer of Richard Wagner's music, particularly his opera Tristan und Isolde. 37. Hitler's mustache, known as the toothbrush mustache, became associated with him and eventually fell out of fashion due to its association with Nazism. 38. Hitler was a vegetarian and abstained from consuming meat, including pork, later in his life. 39. He had a complicated relationship with his family and rarely visited them. 40. Hitler was known for his love of dogs, particularly German Shepherds. His beloved dog, Blondie, was with him in the bunker during his final days and was also killed. 41. Hitler was deeply influenced by the writings of Friedrich Nietzsche and believed in the concept of a strong, authoritarian leader. 42. He received the Iron Cross, a prestigious military decoration, for his bravery during World War I. 43. During his time in prison, Hitler realized the importance of propaganda and began developing his skills in public speaking and persuasion. 44. Hitler's vision for a racially pure Germany led to the establishment of the Lebensborn program, which encouraged Aryan couples to procreate and produced many unwanted children. 45. Hitler's economic policies, known as the Four-Year Plan, aimed to transform Germany into an economically self-sufficient nation. 46. He created the Autobahn, a network of highways, to improve transportation infrastructure and showcase Germany's technological advancements. 47. Hitler's regime promoted autarky, the idea of self-sufficiency, and sought to reduce Germany's reliance on imports. 48. Hitler was a teetotaler and abstained from consuming alcohol. 49. He had a fear of cats and often expressed his dislike for them. 50. Hitler had a strong dislike for modern art, considering it degenerate and promoting what he deemed as pure Aryan culture. 51. Under Hitler's leadership, German scientists made significant advancements in various fields, including rocketry and jet propulsion. 52. Hitler had a close relationship with propaganda minister Joseph Goebbels, who played a crucial role in shaping and controlling public opinion in Nazi Germany. 53. Hitler's regime introduced the Hitler salute, where individuals raised their right arm and said Heil Hitler as a form of greeting or allegiance. 54. He had a deep hatred for communism and considered it one of the biggest threats to Germany. 55. Hitler's book, Mein Kampf, became a bestseller during his time in power and outlined his political ideology and vision for Germany. 56. Hitler believed in the concept of Lebensraum, or living space, which justified the annexation of territories to provide resources and land for the German population. 57. He enjoyed watching films, particularly American movies, although he despised their perceived Jewish influence. 58. Hitler had a complex hairstyle, which he achieved by combing his hair forward and sweeping it to one side. 59. He despised smoking and actively worked to discourage the habit in Germany, even though he was occasionally seen smoking himself. 60. Hitler was a strong believer in astrology and consulted astrologers and psychics for advice on important decisions. 61. He suffered from various health issues, including digestive problems, tremors, and symptoms associated with Parkinson's disease. 62. Hitler's infamous book Burnings in 1933 aimed to suppress art, literature, and ideas that did not align with Nazi ideology. 63. He was a hypochondriac and had a fear of doctors, often seeking alternative treatments and unconventional medical advice. 64. Hitler had an intense fear of dentists and avoided dental treatments whenever possible, which led to frequent dental issues. At 65, he despised modern architecture and considered it a symbol of cultural decline. He preferred classical and neoclassical aesthetics. At 66, Hitler developed an interest in architecture and often provided guidance and input in the design of important Nazi buildings. At 67, he loved watching movies and had a personal projectionist who screened films for him regularly, even during the war. At 68, Hitler believed in the concept of the master race, which identified Germans as the superior Aryan race and deemed other races as inferior. At 69, he created the SS Schutzstaffel, a paramilitary organization that initially served as a personal bodyguard but later became involved in various forms of state terror. At 70, Hitler's regime engaged in book censorship, targeting literature that contradicted Nazi ideology or criticized the government. At 71, he considered himself a military strategist and often overruled his military advisors, leading to strategic mistakes during the war. At 72, Hitler annexed Austria and later Czechoslovakia, violating international agreements without facing any significant consequences initially. At 73, he admired Benito Mussolini, the Prime Minister of Italy and founder of fascism, and sought to establish a similar dictatorship in Germany. At 74, Hitler's regime implemented a policy of euthanasia targeting disabled individuals, considering them a burden on society. At 75, he believed that democracy was a weak and inefficient form of government and aimed to establish a totalitarian state. At 76, Hitler's propaganda minister, Joseph Goebbels, played a crucial role in disseminating Nazi ideology through various media channels, including newspapers, radio, and film. At 77, Hitler's regime implemented the Action T4 program, which led to the systematic murder of mentally and physically disabled individuals. At 78, he referred to the Holocaust as the final solution, aiming to eliminate Jews entirely through mass extermination. At 79, Hitler used anti-Semitic rhetoric to scapegoat Jews for Germany's economic and social problems, perpetuating harmful stereotypes and hatred. 80, he considered himself a prophet of the people and aimed to create a cult-like following around himself and his ideology. 81, Hitler's regime implemented the Nuremberg Laws in 1935, which stripped Jews and other non-Aryans of their citizenship rights and legal protections. 82, he orchestrated the Night of the Long Knives in 1934, ordering the execution of hundreds of his political rivals within the Nazi Party. 83, Hitler ordered the construction of the massive complex called the Eagle's Nest, which served as a mountain retreat for him and top Nazi officials. 84, he prohibited modernist art movements like Expressionism, Dadaism, and Cubism, considering them an assault on traditional German values. 85, Hitler was highly superstitious and believed in various occult practices and pseudosciences. 86, his close associate, Heinrich Himmler, was in charge of the SS and was responsible for running concentration camps and implementing the Holocaust. 87, Hitler's regime imposed strict censorship and controlled all media outlets to ensure that only Nazi propaganda was disseminated. 88, he used the rallying cry Sieg Heil, meaning Hail Victory, as a sign of allegiance and loyalty to the Nazi Party. 89, Hitler had a vast personal library, including books on history, philosophy, and political theory. And 90, he created the Hitler Youth League, which indoctrinated young Germans into Nazi ideology and prepared them for future military service. And 91, Hitler had a deep fear of assassination attempts and took extensive security measures to protect himself. And 92, he had a volatile temper and was known for outbursts of rage when things did not go according to his plans. And 93, Hitler's obsession with racial purity extended to an extreme form of anti-Semitism and a belief in the superiority of the Aryan race. And 94. He admired the military tactics and discipline of ancient Sparta and believed in the concept of the superior warrior race. And 95. Hitler used the Enabling Act of 1933 to gain dictatorial powers, allowing him to bypass the German constitution and make laws without parliamentary approval. And 96. He implemented a system of surveillance and secret police Gestapo to suppress dissent and maintain control over the population. And 97. Hitler had a fear of flying and preferred to travel by train or car whenever possible. And 98. He believed in the concept of social Darwinism, where the weak would be eliminated and the strong would rise to the top. And 99. Hitler's regime targeted homosexuals, sending thousands to concentration camps, where they faced persecution and often death. A 100. He had a personal photographer, Heinrich Hoffmann, who extensively documented Hitler's public and private life. A 101. Hitler's legacy is one of evil and genocide, and his actions resulted in the deaths of millions of people and left a lasting scar on the world's history.